number of jobs that we would be responsible for would be in the neighborhood of 9 or 10 million.
Wow.
As opposed to a sparse number. So economic parity means that it's through entrepreneurs and business ownership that we can do the same thing that I did practice that when I was, because I'm still at Pace Data Systems. But I started Pace Data Systems 1 year after I started BDPA, so one too small. It's like starting two companies at the same time. But it was through Pace Data Systems, and I won't say I had a revolving door, but I certainly had enough people who became employed at BDPA, at Pace Data Systems. In fact, I used to come to BDPA as I was developing Pace Data Systems. If I was going to develop a system, my staff would do the specs, and I generated probably about 4 banking platforms within Pace Data Systems. Just for people who I've come to from the BDPA chapter, after we did the design specs for it, I'd come to a meeting, I'd enter into a transaction with somebody within the BDPA, give them a key to my office, they'd work at company XYZ, come down to Pace Data Systems at night, use the key to get in, get on our equipment, start developing the system for us, finish it, test it, turn it over to me, I give them some money, the deal that we had. And I go ahead and start marketing the system. And I did that about a half dozen times, okay? Several of those people started businesses of their own. Several of my employees left to become businesses of their own. Trained a lot of people who then left Pace Data Systems and went to another company. Okay? So we could all do that. I take it you have a company?
Correct, yes.
What is your company?
So my company is JCW Computer Consulting, and we service small, mid-sized businesses, charter schools, and nonprofits, and we serve as their IT staff. So I actually went into business more than 20 years ago, straight out of college. So I just, was hard-headed and and I've been doing it. So I've employed, over these years, I've probably employed up to 40 or 50 people. And built a STEM program to serve as a feeder to get young people. Because one of the things we have so many partnerships in the industry, and they give us the training is because we're a partner. We get the training for free. So we use that so that we can train young folks, and then they can get, whether it's an HP cert or a Lenovo or Intel, they can get it while they're still in school, and they can be helpful to us. So just like you, I'm going out and getting deals and training people sort of at the same time to do the deal. That's just part of the entrepreneurial two-step. And so this just makes it easier to be able to do those type of things.
Do you know a fellow by the name of Alex King?
I don't.
Okay. He is a lifetime member of BDPA and a member of the Philadelphia chapter. You two should talk.
Okay.
He was the CEO of a company called either Diversity Clarified. I think that was the name of it. Clarified Diversity. And they did a lot of work with charter schools. Okay. And he might be of some benefit to you.
Thank you.
And you should probably talk to Nicodemus over here also.
We spoke briefly.
Okay. You guys are kindred spirits. But entrepreneurism, I think is, if we're talking about black folk ever reaching the plateaus that they should be at, it has to be through business ownership. But it's not easy. I'm sure most of you people know the story of Tulsa, Oklahoma. The history, how Tulsa, Oklahoma just functioned on its own, had its own everything, its own doctors, its own bank, its own grocery stores. It was self-sufficient. Okay. Until the white folk found out about it, somebody said that somebody out at Tulsa, Oklahoma side had said something untoward to some Caucasian woman, and the white folks just burned and tore the town down. But it was an economic marvel. And I'm not talking about 15 years ago, I'm talking about 100 years or so ago, even more than that. So if you want to look it up, Tulsa, but it was a good example of what people should be able to do. I happened to rue the day when black folk were able to go downtown and shop. Because I'm old enough to remember Philadelphia and South Street from 22nd Street down to about 12th, where, because they couldn't go downtown, they were black supper clubs, they were black restaurants, they were black dress shops, of course barbershops, beauty shops, and everything that you wanted, you could get on South Street. Vibrant business community. But when downtown was opened up, all the black folks started going downtown and shopping. You went out South Street now, you don't see any of those businesses. So we have to patronize them, and I'm hoping that you get some patronage from other than just
Thank you. If I could say one thing about South Street. Yes. So one of the things I am involved with in Philly is with a major black business organization. And so there's actually at 410 South Street, it is now a black-owned mini mall.
Yes.
So it's called a pop-up shop, if you're familiar with that.
Yes.
But there's some great business things all throughout Philadelphia, and we're trying to just bring that back. And one of the major things coming back to this, changing in the city, Juneteenth Festival, which is now in West Philly. And what folks don't realize is that it's based off the Bob Billigan parade out of Chicago, Bud Billigan.
Oh yeah, but yes.
And that parade brings 1 million people.
Yes.
$30 average in their pocket.
Yes.
$30 million infusion in a black community.
Yes.
So they're trying to duplicate that here in Philly.
Yes.
And these are some of the type of initiatives that we're doing locally here in Philadelphia.
The Chicago chapter of BDPA has a float in the Billigan parade every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Philly can sign up. Share the information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know I bounced around a lot. I intentionally.
If I could just say something.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Donald Campbell, by the way. Donald Xavier Campbell. If I could just say, and I jokingly mentioned about 40 years, and it just dawned on me, sitting here, that it was in May, June of 1979 that I became a member of BDPA. So I did the math there, 40 years coming up on that anniversary. The thing that I found through my career in the technology arena is that the worst thing that happens to you is what we think is the best thing. And it's called a paycheck. And especially when they give you that 2%, 5%, and back in the day, them 10, 12% increases, be leery of the golden handcuffs.
Yep.
I made the mistake of referring to them as the golden shackles in a meeting with my organization. That didn't go over very well. But the reality is that's what it becomes. And the thing in terms of coming around, what happened in Tulsa, what happened in Black Wall Street, how it was a orchestrated attempt to erode and erase that. Well, we bring a lot to the table. And how do you suppress that? It's no longer direct. It's the indirect control. That paycheck, that comfortable paycheck, the paid vacation. Those are the things that make individuals so scared to go into entrepreneurship. Because as I'm sure you can attest, there's work. And you don't always get paid when you're supposed to get paid by the people who are supposed to pay you.
That's true.
But in order to get to that point, to really arrive, you've got to be prepared to take on that trauma. And it can be very traumatic if you're used to that golden check. I'm paid very well. At this point, I'm riding out my time. But for those who are actually coming behind us, don't get comfortable. The days in which organizations, corporations had a commitment to you are long since gone. You are simply another commodity. And the only way to fight that off is through entrepreneurship. It's just that simple. And if you have the technology skills, it doesn't mean you're a program that you write code. It's the acumen for technology. Look at entrepreneurship. Again, that is your only opportunity to save and protect what is truly and rightfully yours. You look at some of the patents that folks have been responsible for, and you look at the fact that a lot of those same individuals died as paupers. But yet still the patent that they're responsible for made the organizations that they work for billions of dollars. And if you're lucky, you might hear about those individuals. Don't fall trapped and become a victim of that. That is that orchestrated approach to keeping it under control. Look for those opportunities to venture out. Start small. Again, nobody wants to be down at the welfare line, all right? Or worse yet, end up at the post. I shouldn't say anybody at the post office. Everybody get mad at it. But look for those opportunities to branch out, to say, you know what? I do have an idea. I've got something that I don't see where it's being met. And if it's being met, perhaps it's not being met in the fashion that you can meet it. Don't be fearful of the opportunity.
If I can make one quick suggestion, I think BDPA could actually sort of lay out a framework of how you can become an entrepreneur. And so, like, one of the things that I read early on was a book called Millionaire Next Door. And it really laid out how to manage your life so that you could be an entrepreneur. One of the key things is to save or invest 20% of your income. So if we start, and this is what I tell my college students, so if we start, trying to articulate to our college students, hey, before you come out, keep in your head that 20% of your salary goes straight to savings and investing. Matter of fact, lie to your spouse. Don't even tell them you actually make this amount of money. And you do that for at least 5 years. I went straight into business. I never worked for anyone. I wouldn't recommend you do that. I wish, because I had a job, I had a top secret clearance job at GE. That was my internship in college. And I turned the job down to go into business. I wouldn't recommend doing that. But if you start out and you work 2 years, 5 years, bank 20% of your money, build your credit score, now you have that cushion to come out. But we're not telling people this. We are literally, people are making, you can make 70 grand, they're spending 100 grand, now they're saying I want to go in business. That is a recipe for disaster. You have got to be able to float yourself, pay employees, all kinds of stuff. So you got to have cash and you got to have credit to make that happen. So if we put something together, a little document, and did some trainings and workshops, this is how you can financially get prepared to do this entrepreneurial thing. I think we would attract more people there. A lot of people are just scared. If you got that $100,000 Mercedes, how you gonna go with no paycheck?
So we just got a committee head there.
Hi, my name is Eileen Gastineau, past president of BDPA Philadelphia. And so BDPA does offer help for entrepreneurs. We offer workshops. There are many of our past presidents do own their own companies and do a lot of freelance. So there's tons of resources available for those who want to do that. I don't recommend that you lie to your wife. That's not a good plan. But so I started out I actually have an MBA in finance, and I actually joined, when I graduated from school, I joined the National Black MBAs. The reason I came over to BDPA is because, one, they treat you like family. There's tons of support. Everybody is open to help you in whatever your venture is. So I do suggest if you have an idea, what I did when I was here, I tested it as a volunteer. So because we're always looking for support and help, join BDPA, become a volunteer. That's a great opportunity to test your business plan. And you have tons of people that can help you. And BDPA is open. When I ran the chapter, Ron Puritan was our telecom. We had another entrepreneur who was our webmaster. So there's tons of opportunities here because we're open to help everyone get to that C-suite for you to own your own company. And I do IT strategy. So if there's anybody here who has a business idea, I'm more than happy to mentor anybody on their business plan, feasibility studies, and any of that. Just I'll give you my contact information before we go. But it's all about connection. So it's all about coming here and being honest about what you need. everybody in BDPA is going to help.
So, I'm Perry Carter, I'm the president of the Washington DC chapter.
Central High School graduate, by the way.
Control.
246.
237. Glad to be back here in Philadelphia. And again, as Mr. Pace alluded to earlier, I started the student chapter in Temple. But what I wanted to share is what Eileen just alluded to and everyone is stay connected. One of the things, the greatest asset BDPA has is that I tell people in the Washington DC area, I said, we are pretty much what's known as a sleeper cell. And I try not to use that term with negative. I know it has negative connotations. But the point I'm trying to make is every city where there's a chapter of BDPA, you have alumni, you have people already in industry, hiring managers, people that can give you your first contract just because you are in BDPA. And now your cousin's down in Washington. I don't know how people vote these days, but the people you guys send to Washington, I don't know. But I want to share something is that one of the things that we need to do that we are uniquely positioned to do right now, and thanks to Mr. Pace, is that you now are the voice and the tip of the spear for legislation. Every piece of legislation now that comes through City Council, Harrisburg, or Washington DC has tremendous technology overtones. So if you're looking at being an entrepreneur, or if you have, like Earl said earlier, all you have to do is be logical about it. You can make, people that get paid the most in Washington DC are what? Because of L. There you go. There's nobody better, no one better right now in this industry to do that big L word than each and every one of you in your own communities and your own jurisdictions. And you don't have to worry about learning how to code. As Earl said, you just have to be logical about it. And now who else is missing in this room tonight? The media. You know, ABC, you know, I grew up, we had what, 3.5 channels? Channel 3, 6, 10, 12, everything went off at midnight, right? We have hundreds of channels, but nobody from mainstream media will not cover our events unless we were what? Gangbanging, right? So what we did in the past, the late Ollie Morgan, Ollie was the one that really helped Chicago blow up, really big. And Ollie's, his mantra was publish or perish. So what we did, we actually picked up the mantle, and thanks to Earl, we did this years ago. We picked up the mantle and made sure that our story was told by us, for us. So out of Washington, D.C., we publish there's a publication with its own ISSN number known as BDPA Today. It comes out every week. There's, in case you missed it, there's a week, just like the weekly readers we grew up with. So you have, in case you missed it, comes out every week, and then there's a monthly version as well. Digital, you can print it off, take it to Kinko's, whatever. But you can share that, and I share this with you. You can customize it for your own community, your own school, your own chapter, your own region. But it's BDPA's story, and we also added video to that. Some of the videos that Earl alluded to, we do have our own YouTube channel for anybody BDPA to share. A lot of good content from industry. But that's where, as an entrepreneur, you all can advertise your wares, you can produce your own stories. It doesn't cost you anything. You just send it out, and we have students and interns that can set it up so that it can be like a press release for you. Because a lot of small businesses don't have time to put out the press releases or tell their own story. So I just wanted to share those things with you. You know, look at legislative support as a possible way to generate additional income or side hustle, and or look at media, print media, and because no one else, again, you don't see these news stations running here to come to this meeting. This is truly a historic meeting tonight.
And what BDPA, Philadelphia, and a lot of other chapters are running is that young people, and some not so young people nowadays, don't see the value in being part of an organization. Right. Everybody's got their piece of the world in front of them. That's where they live. Interactions and contacts with people have always been necessary and continue to be necessary, because by interacting with people, you know that old adage, in your career, you are paid in your early career when you're a student of what you might know. Then you get that first job, and you get paid what you can do. Then when you get that first supervisory position, you get paid for what you can get other people. And then when you make it, you get paid for not what you know, but who you know. And it is that person that can be that mentor, that person who can bring you up into that boardroom position that you have to interact with. And it's no different with BDPA. Earlier when I was talking about selfish and social motivation, there's nothing wrong with being active in an organization like BDPA and having some selfish motives, like I want to be head of my department. I want to be at the C level within my company. And here I am at the technical level. How do I get there? You got to learn how to put a budget together. Okay? So where do you learn how to put a budget together? You can go to school for it, but you can put a budget together within BDPA as part of a committee, and then execute on that budget. Okay? The soft skills that most people don't get a chance to participate in and to demonstrate is something that you can get from a BDPA, because in front of a group like this, you can make a presentation. Those soft skills, being able to communicate, get over that fear of standing in front of a room full of people and letting your ideas out. Those skills are not ones that they teach you at work. They're ones that you can hone here. BDPA, the national president of BDPA, runs a national organization, multi-million-dollar budget, chapters in 45 to 50 cities, each of them with a president that national president has to interact with. Now with our new structure, there's regional vice presidents and regional directors that are now controlling regions of the organization. Now, it's the same as Cigna Bank. I mean, it's an insurance company. Okay? We don't have Queen Latifah. You'd like to get a reference, so they can we don't have Queen Latifah doing advertisements for us. Well, we're working on it.
Gotta ask her.
Well, first you gotta get in the same room with her. Because if you send it to her agent, it's going to be filed. Okay? But it's a wonderful organization, and I don't say that because I founded it, okay? Because, well, if you do the math, you know that he's talking about, Donald's talking about he wants to work his way out. Well, I'm several years in front of him. And I haven't worked my way out yet, so good luck with that. Okay? All right.
You know, I will say, it really was because of my early involvement. And when I joined BDPA, I was still young, arrogant as I could possibly be.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, you know. And but what I gained from BDPA actually is what moved me from being a computer operator to being data processing manager. Because I got an opportunity to converse with folks and say, well, what are you working on? Son, you know what you're doing. Well, no, there's somebody in charge. Well, why aren't you in charge? And all of a sudden started giving me this sense of empowerment that, you know, maybe I should be trying to push the envelope a little further. Working in a couple of committees gave me a chance to start getting comfortable speaking in front of crowds. Mind you, as much as, you know, some who think they know all about me will never believe, right? I'm actually a quiet and shy person, very withdrawn. I've learned that that's not the road to the top. You can be that way how long as you want, but accept the fact that you're not going to rise to the top. Because quiet mouth, I would say closed mouth does not get fed, nor does it get the next job. Well, getting comfortable with expressing myself was through doing committee work within BDPA, that all of a sudden I became this different person in the office. And literally tucked the managers who I was working behind, Polish guy, literally tucked his job. Because he was so frustrated with this thing called technology that he didn't want to do it. The manager says we need some things done. What did I do? Well, here's what I think we can do. If we do it this way, and next thing you're like, well, who the hell is this kid? Until I became the manager. opportunities within this kind of structure, which is non-threatening. You know, pyramid to comment, somebody to comment around family. You need that comfort level to grow and hone your skills without the fear of losing something. Here, you're not getting paid. Let me say it again. Here, you're not getting paid. Okay? It's about volunteering. But don't look at it as volunteering to lose. Look at it as volunteering to gain, to propel yourself to where you want to be.
Because the quality of the product is still expected to be excellent.
Exactly.
So it's not, you know, many times people say, well, it's just a volunteer organization, but nobody gets paid from BDPA. Nobody gets paid. Many organizations, there's this executive level up here with, you know, people that are dipping into the membership dues and the corporate dollars that are coming in to pay salaries. Well, nobody gets paid from BDPA. Not the national president. Earl Pace has never made a dime out of BDPA. Matter of fact, when I got married for the second time, and my wife went through my checkbook, she said, "What is this? You know, you put this much money into BDPA over the last couple of years or so?" All right? But she came around. You know? And I didn't lie to my spouse. But you need to make that evaluation as to whether you let it go.
And we treated the first lady very well.
So, thank you for the opportunity. I never turned down the opportunity when David called me. He says, "We're thinking about having a meeting. We want you to come." I said, "Just tell me what day it is." Okay. And I even postponed it a week and made sure I had a reason to come fill up. I live in Maryland. Okay. I no longer live in Pennsylvania. So when this is over, I get on 95 and head back to Maryland. But whenever the invitation comes, I'm happy to come. And please invite me back sometime so we can talk about something else. Because I do talk about other things than just BDPA. Thanks very much.
You know, I like to say, we can give Mr. Pace a number. The reason I say that, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be sitting in this room today. You know, a lot of us have benefited from the BDPA. I know the reason why I came back and I said, you know, I don't mind running for president. Was for the reason why, because I know 20 years ago, it was in the Ron period. And we were a family, we were a big group, we went out, we had fun, and all that kind of stuff. And I said, you know what? It would be a shame to let the legacy that Mr. Pace has put into effect, you know, thousands of volunteers every day, to go down. Because we owe it to the next generation. We owe it to the next generation. And my whole thing is that, you know, during my presidency here, is that we bring it back up. Bring back people. I want to get engaged members again. You know, we have royalty here, these two right here, his nephews back there. You know, we want to bring them back in and see what's what, how they can become more active and how they can become a part and continue to build this chapter back up. So don't let this be your first time coming back. So if you're the first time, come back. You know, you got questions. Because we really want that. We really want that family again. You know, it's nice meeting Nick again, to see the entrepreneur. You know, there's one thing with Joel back there. We had this discussion a couple of years ago. We were talking about what are some of the things that, you know, how do we make it much more 21st century? And that was the biggest thing Mr. Pace just said, entrepreneurship. Because we're always talking about working for someone else. But those days are over. You know, your boss calls you in today and says, well, you know, it's been nice knowing you. Here's your salary. Bye-bye. And it's happened. So we have to look at other ways to how do we become insulated? How do we become those job generators? Because IT is one of those most liberating industries right now. You can sit in your garage and like the guy from Jeff Bezos, he's worth $130 billion, beautiful garage. You know, so we can do those things. I'm looking for some exciting things that come down the pipe for us within this year. We'll sit down with the group. We do need people on board, marketing people who can actually reach out to college students. Because I've been thinking about that. That's one of the things I said, we gotta bring in young blood. We really do. Because you see this great right here. So, you know, my thing is I'm like, back there, you were saying, you know, how you really want the younger people to come up and teach them so they can teach the younger ones. When they had that whole, you know, that we had that guy that came that actually has hold his hand over. We got that hand, you wanna bring them out. So I just wanna tell you, thank you again for coming out tonight. I think it was great. I just wanna tell you, thank you again. It's been a great honor, actually. It's been a great honor, right? So it's why you were coming, said, what? He's coming? We gotta call him so he can come to our meeting.
Yeah.
So I
Is
just
it your
wanna say.
intent to have, reinstate monthly meetings now?
Yeah, we are gonna have monthly meetings. We're looking at some ways in the webinars to, so we get much more, inclusive with people who can't get here, so they can actually do the,
You know, one thing I failed to mention.
Come on up.
No, let me do it like a member.
Oh, okay.
National BDPA has actually signed a contract with CompTIA. And CompTIA in 2000, I believe it was, inducted BDPA into its Hall of Fame and did it by bringing me in. Now, I want to make sure that everybody knows that it wasn't because of Earl Pace. They recognized me as a member of the Hall of Fame for CompTIA because of the BDPA. I know that. But through that, a member of BDPA now gets some substantial discounts in the products that CompTIA has. For instance, if you want to get certification, the certification is $400 or so, okay? You let them know that you're a BDPA member, they'll verify that you are a BDPA member by getting in touch with your organization. In some instances, you get as much as a 50% discount on the certification. One of the ideas is to have our student teams that participate in our sites in our high school computer competition to come out of our competition with a certification from CompTIA. And, general certification is an IT expert. But, there are seminars, there are webinars. Every day I get a brief, a daily brief from CompTIA. All I gotta do is go up on the CompTIA website, log in, set yourself up with a login, indicate that you're a BDPA member. And every day I now get a smart brief that gives me a rundown of what's happening in the IT industry. And it comes every day at 11 o'clock. The number of eye-opening articles and things that I get is phenomenal. And it's free. Just because you're a member of BDPA. So look into it. It's very valuable.
It's great you brought that up, because you do want to know the value that we become a member of BDPA, this value that you just don't want to come and say, what's the value? I think you want to say something.
Oh, I just think we should share with them what the cost is.
Okay, if the cost to be a member is $100, which is not a nominal cost, and also if you're a student, it's 25. But generally our student memberships are usually under 25. So generally the students have to pay, because we know that we want them here to learn, and we don't want that cost to be something that is prohibited for them to learn. So usually a member say, I'll underwrite that kid, and then they never get it. So if you have young people, just bring them in. Because membership cost is not, an issue for them. And for people, like I said, $100, you get the value of what you really can get out of the membership, because we do have things on the website, things like that. That $100 is really phenomenal compared to what you're going to learn, and compared to the people that you're around to help you with a different situation. So, yes.
Conference is August 1st.
Yeah, Atlanta. We're going to be at a conference in Atlanta. I went to the conference in New Orleans. First time I've been there, and I tell you something, I had a great time with people there. We met a lot of people. It was really fun to see the young people, because they had a high school competition.
I was there when you all were there.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, this is not it.
Oh, you were there? You were
Yeah,
there?
I stayed at the Hyatt, and my daughter was going to school.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you saw all the people, like,
Yes.
all these people. And I tell you, it was a wonderful thing actually seeing the high school students eating. And like he said, it wasn't a United Nations where people there. We just don't have black people, even though, like I said, the mission is that everybody's involved. So I'm really glad you saw that. And, I said, listen, I witnessed it. Did anybody have any questions or anything?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Joshua.
I'm Joshua.
I want to go Joshua. Okay.
Yeah, getting this again too. My question was like, as far as like the age for the memberships.
Age limit?
Yeah, I mean, not age limit, but how young? Is there like 13?
High school.
High school? Okay.
So I have a question. This is regarding, I guess, not membership, but taking it further, being part of the board or part of the organization itself. What exactly, a lot of us have busy lives. How do you guys juggle doing what you do in addition to work, home, and everything else?
You don't get this way.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's one of those things that I mean, like, I don't have a lot of hobbies. Okay, so it's easier for me right now. My kids are grown. You know, one's grown, one's out of college. One's out of college, one's in college. So I don't have little kids that I have to, attend to. And basically, my lifestyle is more simpler. So for me, it's easier for me to spend time at different locations, different places, and actually do things for me. You know, and for those that have more limited time, because this is not a full time, I mean, it's a volunteer organization, and we ask people, say, okay, what kind of time do you have? If you only get 2 hours, that's fine. Because I always say this is one of the biggest things. If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, I think that's that whole place. And so what happens is you want to break down the work on many people. That way it's not a harsh time. So that's how we do it. Is we try to break down. And that's one of the reasons we're asking some people that have special skills, we want to come on board, learn those skills, to come on board and say, hey, we want to do this. Because like Mr. Pace said, I think Barry was saying, these are skill sets that you might not learn on a job. Being a president, I was president of another organization, did some stuff that prepared me to a certain extent for the position, but also prepared me for my jobs. Because I was able to take different things like I said, budgeting. How do you put budgeting together? You talk about capital expenses, you talk about operating expenses, you talk about this, that, and the other. But you can actually see, look at that budget and say, oh, I understand what that means. So that does help you when you get to a conversation, if you're in a meeting, something like that. But you have to understand that it's something that you can do. You talk about marketing, you talk about those marketing terms. You talk about other things, you talk about that, and that gives you the skill set. So when you go talk to your boss, you can say, well, I have these skills. Might not have done it here, but I do have these skills.
You can also, what a lot of members have done is been able to put this in their performance plan. So they sit down with their employers and they talk about, what BDPA is and what it can offer and how it can improve them at work. And so if you add it to your performance plan, I think it will help you put it through time. And that way you're working in line with your company as well.
I know Kevin right there. You're an IT security guru. I'm in security too. And what happens when he's talking about entrepreneurship? He says, get uncomfortable. That's his tagline. Get uncomfortable. And I think, he gives me experience. I was a consultant for a while. And the thing about it is going out there doing these things. Because I have to say one thing, as an IT person, I'm really happy. I go to work, I'm happy. You don't see me with a friend. So I'm doing what I want to do. And I think that's one of the things about IT. You go to work, you're happy, you're making money, you do the things you want to do every day. But I think, as members, you have different members that can help you. You're the entrepreneur, you talk to Joel Wilson. He's been here 20 years, and I really appreciate it. I remember back in the day, we both consulted at the same time. And I applaud him being in business for 20-something years. Because that is a hard thing to be an entrepreneur. And those are some of the things that I do want to bring back here. Talk to people who are entrepreneurs. Because like you said, it's changing. Anybody have any questions?